dolly has made its money over and over, thousands of times over.
You need to replace one of those wheels. Every time I go with him and I pull it, and the wheel is like
it's wonky now, man. It still works, man. So until the wheels fall off, literally.
Yeah, with your like $10,000 worth of equipment right on it. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of The Clever DJ with Ilya
and Nino. This is episode number 16.
Yes. Now, today we have a topic which we heard a lot about. People ask us all the time when they book us what they should do, whether they should go for us or what we're going to talk about. Now, why is this a good topic for you guys to listen to? So this is good for people who are actually trying to decide between DJs or a live band. Mm-hmm. And also it's good for DJs who want to explain why they are better than the live band as an option, or why maybe correctly you should actually go for the band and not for me. Because you're not just trying to swindle someone out of their money. You want to make sure they're happy at the end of the day, right? You know the requirements and you ask them the right questions. You know what they want. And based on the answers, hey, you know what? Like, I'm a great DJ, but it sounds to me like you're looking for a live band. Mm-hmm. And that's what this podcast is all about today. That's what this episode is all about today. So we have a little list here. And, whoa, it's not a little list. You wrote quite a bit, buddy. All right. Yeah, we edited a little bit, but let's deliver it in the most concise way possible. The pros of having a band, of getting a band, is it's live music, and sometimes live music can't be beat.
It can't be replicated. Else. Yeah, being in a band myself back in the day, there's nothing like it. Like,
it's a different energy, right?
Different ambiance. Unique. Yeah, it's unique. Exactly.
And walk into a bar that just has really cool, like a really great PA system, and it's just playing from a recorded track. Or at least even has a great DJ playing, and then walk into a bar where there's live music, the ambience, the
energy is different.
It's different.
It's electric.
Yes,
I would say.
And again, if you hate live music, okay, then maybe you'd say no, it's different in a bad way. But if you like listening to a DJ and you also appreciate a good band, you could tell how sometimes you just can't defeat like that sound. And if you're one of those people who just loves live music, really this whole list doesn't just there's no point to continue here. Go for a live band. Yeah. As long as you have the money to pay for it. That's one of the points we're going to be covering. But that's the most important point. Live music sounds different, and if you're going for that, that's what you want.
That's the vibe you want. Go get it.
Ability to improvise the delivery of the track, of the song. If you like the band that you hired, you will like how they improvise. For example, Muse, a very, very amazing band. Their live shows, the way they deliver some of those songs are better than the way they recorded them. And they won, I forget what that award is called. They won so many awards for that, for the best performance, on stage, and it sounds incredible. It doesn't sound like they don't go off key or, mess up with the instruments or something. They're just amazing live. And
true professionals, yeah.
And if you like your, the band that you hired or the single person that you hired to sing or to play or to do both, then you will appreciate that their ability to improvise, all right? And then you and I spoke about it before. What if sometimes they need to just play
a little longer
and fill the silence, right?
Yeah.
Play longer, loop it. I mean, sure, a DJ can do that too, but it's different with a band.
It's different with the band. And then when the singers, when they sing, they can also MC and talk and just cue the band in different ways that the live
all live. You
aspect
have
is
so
just
much
great.
more access
So
to
much
different
more
things.
things. Yeah, so much more things that are going on.
Crowd interaction and keeping the dance floor full. I worked venues as a waiter, as a bartender, as a DJ where there was a band and a DJ actually. We'll talk about that too probably at the end. And the way a DJ fills the dance floor and the way a band fills the dance floor is different.
It's different, yeah.
Usually a band just like it invites you. It's not just one person there trying to liven up the crowd. It's more
interactive.
Yeah, it's like pulling you towards that stage, right? It could also be like a show where nobody just really wants to get up and they're just watching the band. But if it's a good band, they'll know how to get you off your seat.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like the power of 4 or 5 people, that energy.
The energy
pulling you
is
towards
just,
them.
yeah, exactly. It's just, you can't help it but just get pulled in.
And another point here, some bands include a DJ for in between their sets. Now, that's a great combo. So they'll have that DJ who will play the music in between their sets because they're taking a break. Or maybe they'll just like put on a playlist like they have on, off their phone or something. Or there's like somebody who controls the sound and they'll have that. So you get best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds. That's
Right.
amazing. Yeah.
The cons will be lack of variety when it comes to music. So again, if you hired the band you want, the band you love, not really lack of variety because you got the music you want, but what about your guests?
Yeah, sometimes your guests won't resonate with what they play and they want something else, right? And that doesn't mean that the band will know it, right?
Or will be the best at playing that type of music.
Exactly.
Right? So what if it's a country band and somebody wants something completely different? What would be a good example? Completely different. I mean, hip hop.
Like hip hop, rock.
Rock. They could probably do it. But again, if it's a strict country band, like, the most country they get, I'm sure they can do rock, but it's not their strong suit.
That's
maybe.
true. Yeah. So
Blues, jazz, right? Like, it's just
unless it's a really good band.
yeah.
Unless it really.
And again, we're circling back to it's gonna cost you a lot of money to get someone like that. That's the point. That probably should have been number one. More expensive to hire.
Exactly. Because there are more bodies in a band, you have to pay them. They have to make sure it's worth their time. So
Yeah.
they're going to be paying a lot more.
So you can't pay them $1,500 or $2,000 because normally these more professional band members will want to get paid $1,000 to $1,500 each. Right?
Depending on their reputation and how they play, right?
Yeah. Venues restrictions, sound limitations. I mean, you deal with that all the time. One of the places you go to has
a decibel meter that you can't go over the sound. The manager will literally come up to you and say, "Hey, turn it down," and they're like, "Yeah." It's just a stipulation that we have to adhere to. Now with bands, however, they can't really go quieter, right? Rather than a DJ can just lower the volume.
Did you ever try to sing quieter, like when you practice at home? Like you start cracking, like it's just like sometimes you just have to.
You have to
belt
let it
something.
out. You have to belt. And,
Yeah, and you can't like control the volume.
you can't really.
You could
right?
technically, if you had the sound guy and like they can, but it's like usually they're cueing you rather than controlling the volume, right?
And then it's about the energy too. Like when you start lowering the volume, the energy goes down.
Yeah.
With the actual
Because
music.
usually live bands are loud.
Loud and live, right?
Yeah. More complex logistics compared to DJs.
Yeah.
Like you can tell when a band's on stage, all these wires, all this gear on stage, everything and there's not just one mixer now.
No, and you have to wire them all up with microphones. The drummer has to be wired up. All the singers,
All the mics, yeah.
all the mics. Sometimes like the guitarist or keyboardist has microphones as well. So there's so much little details that you have to look into.
Mics, effect pedals, sometimes more than one per person. Mixers, lights, everything.
Yeah.
Just that much more to set up.
That much more to go wrong as well.
Yeah.
Right. To fail.
Yeah. And that brings us to the next point, which is there's no space for a band sometimes.
Yeah.
You require an entire stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a sturdy stage, that is, to to have 3, 4, 5 people standing on their, maybe stumping their feet, and having all of that gear on stage, safely, right?
So
some
space
venues-
requirements, right?
Yeah, some venues just won't allow it due to the lack of space. I mean, maybe you could move a few tables and stuff, but at the end of the day, you need a stage usually.
Yeah, always.
Next, what do we have next? Some bands are genre specific and can't cater to your crowd or musical tastes. I mean, we kind of already spoke about that, right? If you're looking for hip hop and it's a
So basically, lack of variety of music.
it's a country band,
right? So
I would be interested to hear what a country band will sound like if they play hip
hip
hop.
hop.
Hey, like hip hop rap. Like, hey, can I get some Biggie Smalls?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we kind of already covered that. A very important point is bands need to take breaks and can't play for extended periods of time. I almost never saw a band that just gets off stage and there's no music in the background, because if it's not the band, then the venue will play something.
Yeah.
But maybe you're very, let's use the word uptight about how you want the music to go. And you're not okay with just some regular playlist in the background. Unless you could maybe speak to whoever controls that music ahead of time. Hey, I only want these songs in the background. But you'll have to put up with it. And you know what happens sometimes when there's a small break? The crowd just ends up sitting down, and it's hard to get them back up.
Yeah, that's the problem when having breaks. You have to build it back up.
Yeah. So
it's the same thing like when it comes to DJing as well.
Again,
right?
So if you are a person who just wants to continue nonstop for 2-3 hours, a band may not be for you. They'll have to take a break, more than one break, lots of breaks actually sometimes.
Yeah.
And now it's not one person who needs to eat and drink. Now it's 3, 4, 5 people usually, unless you have a single person show, right?
Yep.
All right. So what do we have left here? Setup and tear down time will be usually longer.
Yes.
And can cost you more, as staff has to stay behind until the band leaves the premise. So
a lot more gear, a lot more people. So
yeah.
A lot longer.
Heavier gear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I worked where bands had to set up and tear down. And I know that some venue owners, some managers, whoever's in charge of that, will charge the bride and groom or whoever
That
has
sucks, man.
Yeah, whoever has their event. If people don't leave by, let's say, 1 a.m., I'm charging you for another hour because I got to pay all my staff or a certain part of the staff, right? Somebody has to stay behind, so I'm charging you for another half hour, another hour. And they're strict about it, and they're still getting business. So maybe that's just standard.
I guess.
I wouldn't do it,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I don't own a venue, so I don't know. Maybe that's the way to go. I would not do it though. That's gonna leave a bad taste in someone's mouth.
For sure.
So that's it. That's it for the pros and cons for bands. We can come up with another 10, 20, 30. But just to give you an idea, right? Pros of having a DJ. Cheaper, more affordable to hire.
Obviously.
I know a very expensive DJ that you could hire for $1,500, $2,000, $4,000. It depends what you want.
Yeah.
Right.
Depends.
So, and depends also when. Sometimes you're a lot busier. And it'll be harder to get you, so it'll cost more because you have so much business.
Saturdays are usually our peak days, right? Saturdays and then Fridays.
And then the 1,500 is, from what I've seen, because you showed me your contracts and stuff, is almost unheard of. It's only if it's like grandfathered, from a few years ago, and you're close with that venue, and it's in house, and it's a simple setup, and it's close to home. Usually, it's at least $2,000, at least. And
but that's a lot, very cheap, like compared to a band. Bands charge up to what? Sometimes
$4,000,
4 or 5. I've seen bands up to 12,000.
Yes, it
for
depends.
really good ones.
Depends who, and that's the thing. Like, do you really want to get that live sound and then 10 of these cons or whatever? Like, if you want to minimize the cons and you want to get someone who's really good, then you're gonna have to pay the price. It's gonna cost you some money. A DJ, as long as he or she are a good DJ, and it's they have. By good, everything. I mean, it goes without saying. I mean, they have all the music you need. They're emceeing, like they have good gear, like lights and all that stuff. That's it. You got everything for much cheaper. Next, instant access to all music. That's what I just said. They have access to everything. You don't have to wonder, do they know the song or not? And even if they don't, you can get it on the fly.
Yeah.
Adaptable to the guests and can read crowds. I think a band can read a crowd too,
but it's limited,
not as adaptable.
Right? As a DJ, they have more wider variety of music, so it makes it more just more crowd friendly that way.
Yeah. I think for a DJ, it will be easier. And again, we said that this is the average situation, right? You want a band that can read a crowd very well and adapt. Okay, you're going to pay a lot of money. That band is really good.
Yeah.
That's not a feature in a band that is really easy to come by. A more obvious feature is that they have a good selection of music for their genre, and they have, good set of lungs, and they sing very well. Now, emceeing, like hyping the crowd, that's not normal for a band to have, at least from what I've seen. They do it through their music, but that's it. That's what I've noticed. Now, that's very important. Mixing music seamlessly. That is something that we spoke about before. There's no breaks. So whether it is you gotta eat or go for a bathroom break, and there's even between tracks. There are no breaks because that's the whole point of transitioning.
No, they're there.
All right.
Yeah, but then again, there are some good bands that can transition well as well.
Yeah, the song ends and the next one starts right away.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives you that second to kind of like adjust your ears because it's loud, right? And then you start again. Yeah. Again, you're gonna pay more money.
Yeah, for a band like that,
even more. So once again, the standard is not to have that. The band will stop. They'll talk amongst themselves. Hey, let's do this track. Okay, this one. Okay, cool. They'll set up. They'll tune the guitar. You want somebody who does it all on the fly or has another guitar ready on those like stands that they have there. You're gonna pay more money. Now they're bringing more gear.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's that. Adjustable volume levels. That's what we spoke about when it comes to the decibel meter.
The decibel meter. So DJs are a little bit more lenient to that. They can just turn down the volume. Well, bands can't really adapt much.
How often do you have to do it? How often are they telling you to turn it down? I was never told yet.
A few times. Because as the night progresses, your music just gets louder and louder. It's just a thing. Right?
I was told by the actual person who hired me that some people think it's too loud. It wasn't. I promise you right now, it wasn't too loud. It's just not their type of.
It's not their type of music, right?
It was just a corporate. There were like so many different people there, looking for different sound, different things, and some of the music was just too much for them. It was just too loud for them, right? But nobody ever came up to me like, "Oh, your music is too loud. The neighbors are complaining," or something like that. Yeah. What else? Venue space. And we spoke about that with respect to bands. All you need as a DJ is like a corner. Even if you have like a beautiful facade and
at the minimum we require at least 4-foot table.
Yeah.
That's enough for our gear. So you can literally just put us in the corner. And that's
4 feet.
Not much space at all.
Maybe 6 feet with a facade and everything else, but that's it.
So we're very venue friendly compared to a band.
Now, a guitarist will probably need a bit of a clearance between left and right wherever they're standing. Their amplifier, that one
Plus
person
they're
needs
moving
like
around, like dancing and stuff. So
just that one person needs like about 4 feet.
exactly.
And then there's like the space between the like.
So
the
multiply
singer
that for 4 or 5 people too. Right?
And again, it could be a band like a two man show.
Could
like
be like
a guy and girl, like. But normally, the bands are multiple people.
we're talking full bands.
Yes. Quicker setup and teardown times.
So much quicker.
Yeah.
One person with their gear compared to 5 or 4. Of course, it's just no brainer.
I've seen you set up as quickly as 20 to 25 minutes, and not just the controller and the speakers. There was a
setup.
huge. I need to upload a photo one day of the dolly and everything on it.
Oh my God.
I don't know how that stuff doesn't tip over or how they didn't give in yet.
That dolly has made its money over and over, thousands of times over.
You need to replace one of those wheels. Every time I go with them and I pull it and the wheel is like...
It's wonky now. Man, it still works, man. So, until the wheels fall off. Literally.
Yeah, with your like $10,000 worth of equipment right on it.
But
that was an expensive dolly. I had no idea how much they cost.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Until I started looking into it. All right. Oh, Home Depot came through.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good deal on that one. I love that dolly. DJs can play for longer periods of time. So, again, you are not singing. You're not playing an instrument, really. So... You're good. Your stamina is there. You need to relax and have a glass of water or something. But like you have more control over how long you play before you need a break.
Exactly. Well,
it's less exerting.
When the dance comes, we tend to not take breaks. It's just straight, right? Well, a band, if they're doing the dance, they have to take breaks in between. And then there's a DJ playing in between too as well. So with a DJ, they can just play straight. 4 hours, 5 hours straight.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
Yeah. And there are small breaks, announcements and stuff like that, but not like a break for a band, 5, 10, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Depends, right?
It's
like
very physical for a band to play and stuff too.
Sing. Right? Yeah. Wow, that takes it out of you.
It's tough.
Yeah. Now some cons, okay? Just to show that we're fair. Less interactive.
Compared to a band, of course.
Again, when we wrote this down, we're like, really? Because DJs can be very interactive, but compared to a band, a good band, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same.
Yeah. Like bands usually front singers will pull people up and interact with you, like sing to you and stuff. So
I definitely don't want to do that.
A DJ can't do that, right? You can't.
It's kind of frowned upon to come to the DJ booth like that.
You look like a clown.
So... a lot less interactive when it comes to certain deliveries of that performance, right? Not as original. Everyone hires a DJ. Like almost everyone out there, no matter what kind of event. So when you say, "Hey, I'm gonna have a live band at my gig or at my show, at my wedding," yes, there'll be the people who are like, oh, "I hope it's a good band," but it's more exciting usually.
Yeah,
right?
You don't know what to expect.
You have the correct band.
Yeah.
All right, so just a couple more points left here. Not your DJ of choice. And what I mean is you may come to the venue and say, okay, we have this DJ, we want to hire him, and they don't
allow it.
They
outside DJs.
Yeah, they have a resident DJ or resident DJs. You can select between them.
Mm-hmm. And usually, sometimes it comes with the actual package that you get with the venue.
Yeah.
It's already booked in. So you have no choice that way.
Personally never experienced anything like that. They'll say, hey, we have our DJs, but you can bring your own. But I know this exists.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It's very rare, but it does exist.
A lot of couples have told me, we have to go with the in-house because it's included. I'm like, really?
I heard about going with the in-house because of their gear.
Yeah.
But that's usually also why the DJ, because they want a DJ from their company.
Of course.
Because he also knows how to control the gear, or he comes with a person.
Of course.
So at the very least, you'll have to hire the DJ for $2,000-$3,000. And then you'll also have to hire a person from that company to deal with the gear because they don't want anyone else touching it because it's really expensive.
Their equipment is very expensive.
So now you're paying like $1,000 or $1,500 for the person who's dealing with the gear, and you're paying for the DJ.
So yeah.
So sometimes, band, and that's it.
Yeah.
again, we can talk about that point specifically for a while, but the last point here, DJs can't replicate a band's sound and visual display. That oomph that a band brings.
Not at all.
Right?
Yeah, it's different. This goes with the first top point that we talked about. Like,
that
there's
live
nothing like the
performance.
live performance. It's
But really, everything here comes down to: are you gonna pay appropriately? Because if you don't, then a lot of the stuff we said here, you'll be like, well, they said if I do that, then I'll get a good band. Or first and foremost, pay appropriately, because if you don't pay the right amount of money for a good band, a lot of these things you won't experience. A lot of these pros.
Yeah, a lot of times you need to see the band in person too, if that's the kind of style that you like too, right?
Always check a band.
Always check them out.
Right? They'll let you crash a wedding quietly from the sidelines. Check them out, see if you like their vibe and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But a DJ, it's just easier. It's just easier hiring a DJ, as long as you go for somebody who has a good reputation.
If they're good. If you've seen them live, they book them on the spot, right?
I feel like there's way more moving pieces to hiring a band.
There is, of course.
Which brings us to the last point. Why not both? Some venues literally offer you their in-house resident DJ or their band, and then you couple it with
they go back to back.
Combine it with your DJ or band, whatever they don't have.
Yeah.
Or sometimes instead of paying for a very expensive band, you pay for a decent band and a decent DJ, and they know how to work together, how to not play the same music.
That's important, not to play the same music. A lot of bands would get mad at DJ for playing this stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of them will coordinate with the DJ too to make sure they're not played.
I know some DJs who've been coordinated with, and they still
play them.
And I'm like, how can you look these people in the eyes after? Like, you really messed them up. Yeah. So that's it, really.
So if you can afford it, best of both worlds is the ideal if you want both band and DJ, right?
Yeah. As long as, hey, you know what we forgot to say? A lot of people don't think about the guests. They think, oh, they'll love it for sure because you love it. Think about it. Are your guests gonna like a band at your wedding or whatever it is event you're throwing, or a DJ? So if they will, then it's an easier yes. It's an easier pick. But yeah, this is a topic we can discuss for like hours.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, thank you very much for joining another episode of The Clever DJ. Another one coming up in a week.
Yeah. Thank you. See you in the next one, guys.
See you in the next one.